Yo guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you guys an update on my Platinum Trophy collection with my new camera. So, no more glitchy phone camera and the quality is actually good. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update on the trophy collection because last time I did it I was at 24, now we're at 52. So, let's just get into it. But one thing I want to mention, first of all, this is going to also be an update video for the channel. I'll be updating you guys on different things, some of the platinums I have planned. But the first thing I want to say before this video starts, my name is pronounced Shardyx. Not Shardy, not Shardyx, it's Shardyx. The X is not silent. I see a lot of you guys saying Shardy instead of Shardyx, so I just want you all to know that. But for future reference, it's also in my about page, so I just wanted to say that, so that people could just maybe stop calling me Shardy. Let's get into this. Starting with Cars 2. This was my first Platinum video that I recorded, but it wasn't the first I uploaded because I wanted to do Ghostrunner first because I thought that would be a more popular game since it's newer. And if you just look at those two videos, yeah, I was definitely mistaken. But this game, amazing. The day I bought it is the same day that I got the Platinum. So like, I bought it on the 3rd. Like first, I had a few trophies already on the 27th because I played on a demo. And then I bought it on the 3rd and played until midnight, until 12:50, and I got the Platinum. This game was really fun. I think this one's better than Cars 3. Cars 3 is good, but I like this one more, honestly. Like, I just like the characters and the feeling of this game a lot more. But overall, this was a fun game. Highly recommend it. I would say I recommend it if you have PS Plus Premium, but Sony's hiking the prices, so if you have a PS3, I'd recommend just buying it on there. It's only 20 bucks. Thanks, Sony. But let's get into the next plat. The next Platinum is Spider-Man PS4. So, I already have the PS5 version of this Platinum, and I mentioned it in the first video, so I'm not going to talk about it much. But I just felt like doing this just because I was bored. So I decided to go ahead and do this. Can't auto-pop backwards, so this isn't an auto-pop Platinum. I did it fully legit. And yeah, it was a lot of fun to do, really enjoyed this, and yeah, that's all I really have to say. Next up is the PS4 version of Life is Strange True Colors. Again, it's the same thing as Spider-Man. I was bored, so I decided to do this. I got it on the credit scene, and yeah, all I did was just look at a guide while I played, and yeah. Life is Strange Platinums are pretty easy, so if you want some easy Platinums, go ahead. They aren't shovelware by any means. I do enjoy the stories of these games. But that's all I have to say. Let's get on to the next one. And the next one being PS4 Miles Morales. Again, same thing. Just, I decided to get this because I was bored. So I did. Again, there's not much to say. Like, it's just a PS4 version. I got all 3 of those games in the first video, so what else is there to say? And the first new Platinum is It Takes Two. I got this with Gianmarco. You may remember him from A Way Out and Destiny. This Platinum is really fun. It's made by the same creators who made A Way Out. This game is just really fun, and I really enjoy playing with Gianmarco. We were really slow with it. It took us almost an entire year to get this Platinum because we were really inconsistent with it, mostly because Gianmarco was grinding out Destiny at the time. So we didn't have many moments to go ahead and just play this game and stuff. But overall, this game is awesome, and to be honest, I feel like there's a theme with Gianmarco just kind of making Platinums take longer than they need to. Like, A Way Out, he was fine. We did that entire game in one day. But Destiny, he was the main reason why the schedules were so difficult to work with. Because he would have some random thing come up, or he'd fall asleep as he did in the video, so. But overall, fun game. Highly recommend it if you have a friend to go ahead and play with. And yeah. Next up is my 30th Platinum, Ghostrunner. This was the first Platinum video I uploaded, and it was my former hardest Platinum. This game, awesome. Amazing gameplay, really like how fast paced it is, and this is the type of difficult game I like. Games that are difficult, but they aren't like super punishing and just annoying to play, like something like Wolfenstein 2 Mein Leben. Like, these are the difficult Platinums I prefer, so keep that in mind. If you want to suggest any difficult Platinums, try to suggest ones that are like this. They're just fun, but they are difficult. But this game, the hardest trophies were completing a level without dying, completing the game in general, and kill 23 enemies in a row without dying. For that and the complete level without dying, I used the first mission. So to get more than human, I had to basically beat the first mission without dying once, and then do most of the mission again to get to 23 enemies. And if you remember that video, I was raging a lot while trying to get this trophy. So maybe not the best first impression, showing that I could get really mad at the platinum. But overall, this was the only trophy that really made me mad. Everything else about this game is super fire, and I'm hyped for Ghostrunner 2. I haven't done the DLC yet, but I do plan on doing it at some point before Ghostrunner 2 comes out. And this is not my 31st. My 31st is way up, but I don't want to scroll all the way up there, so I'm going to just go in order of when I see them. So my 32nd platinum was Need for Speed Unbound. I wish I could have made a video on this, but I was using my old capture card when I got this platinum. Well, not when I got this platinum, but when I first got the game. And I didn't want to just start the platinum while I was already over halfway through the trophy, so I just decided to push through, just not make a video on it. But I enjoyed this game. I think this game is a lot more accessible than Heat, because Heat has the really aggressive cops, and that was the thing I didn't like about Heat, because it was my first Need for Speed, and to have cops that were that aggressive, it just didn't feel good for me. Like, it's definitely a skill issue, but I think this game is a better entry game, and I'm down to go back to Heat now that I have experience with Need for Speed. The only trophy that really annoyed me was completing an online playlist with 7 other players. I don't think any game should require this many players for one trophy. It took so long to get this, and I think I had at least 2 scenarios where people left, and if someone leaves any time before the final race is over, you're not getting the trophy. It's just gone. So it was really annoying to get this, and now that the game isn't in its prime anymore, it's probably best to just boost this trophy. And it's definitely a disappointment, because this game is really fun. I really enjoy this game, and I'm also disappointed that this game didn't get the content that it really needs. Like, they're still adding content, but it didn't have that much at launch. The online was pretty bare bones, especially. And this is one of those games where I really recommend getting the platinum just to add extra content to it, because there just isn't as much to do outside the platinum. Maybe now there is. I haven't played since I got the platinum, which was before the first update even came out. But maybe it's good now. I don't know. But I really enjoy this game. Highly recommend it if you like racing games. And the next platinum is A Plague Tale: Innocence. This series is super underrated. I highly recommend these, especially if you got this game with PS Plus back in 2021. Really enjoyed this game. It was so fun. The story was great. The trophies were pretty fun as well. The only chapter that really annoyed me was the final chapter, where a character is pushing a cart and you have to protect him, and there are just spam of enemies, and your one shot in the game is really hard to defend yourself because all you have is a sling. You don't have the crossbow that you have in Requiem or anything. It was really difficult to do that part, and it really ticked me off trying to do this part. But overall, that was the only mission that really was annoying. Everything else was pretty fun. Stealth usually isn't my thing, but I got really used to it in this game, and yeah, highly recommend it. The next one being Life is Strange Before the Storm. This is the original version of the game, not the remaster, which I showed in the first video. Not much to say since I already got the platinum, but the one thing I really do want to say is, if you want to play this game, play this version. Do not play the remaster. For some reason, the remaster is worse than this version. I don't know how they managed to do that. I just don't get how they managed to make the original version better than the remaster. They both run at 60 frames. The remaster has crashes, and I don't know if they fixed this, but there was one part that just strictly ran at 30 frames, even on a PS5. So if you're gonna play this game, play this version, especially since it's on the catalog, so play this one. But I really enjoy this game. Then, of course, again, this is not the correct order, but my 36th platinum is Borderlands 1, and I really enjoyed this game. It's definitely dated compared to the other games, but that's not a bad thing. That just, to me, I think of that as the series just improved since this game, and that's always good. It's not like other games like Call of Duty or the Saints Row game where they get worse over time. This one, I really enjoyed it. The trophies were pretty easy overall. Of course, if you watched that video, you remember my rage at the barrels. Definitely a skill issue, and I really don't even get why I got that mad at the barrels, to be honest. Like, I get why, because I kept getting screwed over by them all the time, but to get that mad at them, yeah, that was a little too much. But obviously, since this game, I've gotten a lot more used to the game, and I do plan on doing this game's DLC and the others, but I know this game has the worst DLC out of all of them. There's RNG, I know the Underdome Riot is a really long grind, but I'm willing to do it, so that'll be a video at some point in the future. Next is Borderlands 2, definitely the best of the main trilogy. I think, has the best gameplay. But I do also think pre-sequel's on par, because it's basically the same game, just with some differences, like obviously low gravity, lasers, different story, but I think they're both pretty equal, in my opinion. I don't see why pre-sequel gets all the hate, but we're not talking about pre-sequel, obviously. The platinum for this game was pretty good. Obviously, since I was still pretty new to Borderlands, I sucked. The Wilhelm boss, I know Wilhelm is literally meant to be the easiest boss, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was using pretty much the complete wrong weapon against him, and that's why it took me so long to kill him and why I was struggling with him. So had I known more about Borderlands, this was the last one I played. I really should have known more about this game. Had I known more about how this game works and how everybody's weaknesses are and stuff, I could have had a much better experience. And I wish I didn't play Zero, because I don't think squishy characters are good beginner characters in any game, unless they're like overpowered, so basically they take no skill. But had I known that Zero wouldn't have been a good choice, because I only chose him because I knew him from Tales and he just looked cool. I would have chose Maya instead, to be honest. Sao, maybe I would have used him, I don't know, but I would have definitely chosen Maya had I known that Zero was weak. But that's not to say that he's trash. I mean, I'm just saying he takes a lot of damage. That is a fact. But I really enjoyed this platinum. One of the worst trophies, I think, was Challenge Accepted, first of all. Garbage trophy, and I'm glad they dropped it after the Tiny Tina's Assault game, the standalone. I'm glad they dropped it after that. This trophy's garbage, it's way too grindy. Like, Borderlands is a grind, but screw this trophy. Straight up, it's just not good. I don't like that you had to level up other challenges to max just to unlock the first tier of 1, and you probably already had it done, but you couldn't actually get the challenge because you didn't unlock it yet. So I didn't like that. Same thing with pre-sequel. I don't like that. The other one that was a little annoying was getting an item from Michael Moraro. Rest in peace to the man, but this trophy, he's RNG. He spawns at many random places, and in most cases he doesn't spawn at all. So again, I don't like RNG trophies. They're really trash. But overall, I really enjoyed my time with Borderlands 2, and I've come back recently, and I really enjoyed the game. I'm much better at it now, so when we get to the DLC, I'll be a much better player. I won't be complaining and stuff, so yeah. Of course, next will be Borderlands 3, but I got a DLC trophy, so we're gonna skip to A Way Out. I already talked about it during It Takes Two, but I think this game has the better story over It Takes Two, but It Takes Two has the better gameplay. And it's a 2 out of 10, and only 15 trophies. It's really fun and really easy. We did it in like 6 hours straight, but yeah, highly recommend this. It was a kind of difficult video to make because obviously only 15 trophies. The video would have been like 5 minutes, so that video, it has spoilers in it, so if you want to play this game for yourself, don't watch my video, just play the game for yourself. If you want to watch it to learn about some of the trophies, then okay, fine, but don't watch it if you want to play the game yourself. Do not do that. And here's the clip. I'm showing all the clips just so you guys can see what we did to get the platinum.
Okay.
But yeah. Let's get on to the next one. The next one being my 40th platinum, Minecraft Dungeons. I did not do I did some DLC. As you can see, I did do some of it, including the tower. The tower definitely was one of the most fun parts about this game. But I really enjoyed my time on this game. Like, all these games I enjoyed. There isn't a single one of these games I didn't enjoy. Level 69. But this game, really fun. It's a unique take on Minecraft. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. It's a really fun game, and I don't know if I'll ever clean up the DLC. I'm gonna wait till the DLC goes on sale before I decide to do it, but I'm down to go ahead and do it. Probably won't be a video, but I may stream it sometimes. I don't know. But overall, fun game. I highly recommend it, especially if you got it with PS Plus. Great game. Then here's the platinum that a lot of you guys probably know me from, Far Cry 5. My first Far Cry game, and actually not a game that I thought of. Vincent actually thought of this game. He was the guy that accompanied me throughout this game and Far Cry 6 and a lot of other videos. Yeah, he had the idea to play Far Cry 5. I wasn't gonna get the platinum at first, but he suggested it, so we played it for a little bit, didn't finish it. But then when I started doing platinum videos, he suggested, oh, let's get the platinum. You should get the platinum for this game. Either I suggested it or he suggested it, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't have played the game at all if it wasn't for him, so most of the credit goes to him for even thinking of it. But I really enjoyed the platinum for Far Cry 5. Joseph Seed's a great villain. The only thing I don't like about the game is just the silent protagonist. I really do prefer having a vocal protagonist, and I like that about Far Cry 6. And the only real kind of annoying things are like the arcade ones, especially if you don't have a teammate like I did. Obviously, you're not gonna really be able to play these unless you boost, because the online is definitely dead. And then other things that were annoying was this one, been there, done that. Freaking these hunting challenges sucked so badly. Trying to find the different animals was just not good, man. It was not fun at all. Finding the grizzly bears sucked. Finding the hares was garbage. And then the eagles, like, just all the rare animals. It was just so annoying to find these. And then a few months later, I cleaned up the DLC trophies. I think Lost on Mars overall has the best stuff. Has the most boring story, but the gameplay is top tier in this, especially the space weapons. You can use them in the main game, and they're easily the most overpowered. And if I did do the infamous difficulty, I'd use those for sure. And I enjoyed the trophies for the DLC. The only one I wasn't a fan of was killing 5,000 zombies. This one was garbage because after completing the game once, completing the game again to get the gold medals, I only had about like 2,000, so I AFK'd for 6 hours trying to get that trophy. And I just edited the DLC video while I did it. But yeah, these trophies suck. Any trophy where you can do 2 playthroughs and still not even be close to getting it, those trophies are garbage. And yeah, it just wasn't fun, but I probably wouldn't have done the DLC if it wasn't for Ubisoft adding 60 frames. So thank you, Ubisoft, for that. But I want you guys to fix Far Cry 4, man. Fix that. I want to do that platinum. Then next is The Crew 2. Crew 2, fun game. Really enjoyed this platinum. Really enjoyed the game. I'm hyped for Motorfest. I played the beta when it came out. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a huge improvement over The Crew 2. Because The Crew 2, I enjoy it. Some people don't really like it, but I'm one of the people who do like it. There weren't many annoying trophies, to be honest. I just suck at racing, but that's just racing in general. Like, I'm not the greatest at driving in games, but I'm willing to give Motorfest a try. Hopefully the platinum's not terrible or anything. And fun fact, after I finished this video, I was like close to or above 100, I don't remember. I'm like level 500 something now. And that's because of the summits. The summits are freaking overpowered. Vincent is like in the 200s. He was a higher level than me. And since I kept up with the summits, I skyrocketed past him. I still think he's a better player than me, but I'm definitely a higher level than me. And one thing about Motorfest I really like is that Crew 2 cars transfer over to Motorfest, so if you play the Crew 2 and decide to play Motorfest, you have a bunch of cars waiting for you. That is definitely my favorite part about Motorfest, and I'm hyped to go ahead and use some of my favorite cars from this game. Next up, probably my favorite platinum out of all these platinums, LEGO Dimensions. Easily my favorite LEGO game. I mean, if you look behind me, I have a LEGO Dimensions poster over there. That was from my PS3 copy of Dimensions. And I've had that since I got the game. I never took it down. I don't know why, but I'm gonna just leave it there. Why not? I'm really glad that this platinum is obtainable with just the base characters because it costs way too much to get the DLC characters. Apparently you can get them for free by using like NFC tags or something, but none of my phones support that, so I'm not gonna bother trying to do that or spend like 300 bucks to get all the characters. So I'm okay with just the platinum for this game, but if you can get this, if you can spare 100 bucks, it'll be worth it. This game is really fun. Such a fire game. The most annoying trophy probably would be completing the portal mission in under 25 minutes. This one, pretty much, you just gotta have a good memory of it. Also, if you do have some other characters, you could just, like, you know, use some of those guys and go faster that way, but obviously I didn't have those characters, so I just simply did it by memory. I don't remember how much time I had left. I think I had like 23 minutes, but that was definitely the most annoying trophy. And then probably having to get the chrome paint job. I don't remember struggling in my PS4 playthrough, but on PS3 I had to grind a little bit to get back up to 1,000,000 studs to get this. But overall, I really enjoy LEGO Dimensions, and if you do happen to have the game from back in the day, or you're willing to go ahead and buy it, I highly recommend this game. It's so fun. And next is Control. This is one of my more underrated videos, I think. Like, my enthusiasm isn't there like the newer videos, but I still think this one's pretty underrated. I really enjoy my time with Control. It's on the catalog. If you have the extra, please play this game. You will be doing yourself a big favor playing this. And it also comes with DLC. I didn't do the DLC because I just wanted to focus on the platinum, especially since while I was playing Control, I also wanted to get Jedi Survivor, so I didn't do the DLC, but again, it's another one of those things where I might play it in my free time or on a stream or something. But yeah, I highly recommend Control. Amazing game. The worst trophies were probably having to do the bureau alerts and the board countermeasures. The board countermeasures, I cheated. If you want to know anything about that, I do go over that cheat in the video. If people got mad about that, I don't freaking care. Because the longer you go in the game, the less opportunities you get to do board countermeasures because less enemies spawn, less viewer alerts spawn, so I'd say get those done as fast as possible and maybe cheat the countermeasures if you want, but I really enjoy my time with this game. It's really fluid, really trippy, the story's good. Can't wait for Control 2 whenever that comes out. I think it's coming out in 2024. And next is Jedi Survivor. I have not done Fallen Order, as you can see from everything else. I only haven't done it because when I finished Fallen Order, I wasn't trophy hunting at the time. Or at least I wasn't focusing on trophies at the time. And I really don't feel like backtracking because I know I have so many missing things. And the backtracking is really bad in Fallen Order. Compared to Survivor where you can fast travel to each meditation point. The story was pretty good. I crashed like 7 times because I played basically at launch. And the game barely ran at 60 frames. I don't know how the game is now because I was supposed to do a New Game Plus playthrough, but of course I had other videos to record, so I never got around to it. So maybe the game's a lot better now, I don't know. But I highly recommend this game. I think it's on sale right now. So if you are interested, you don't even need to be interested in Star Wars that much either. Like I know people who weren't really fans of Star Wars and now they either still aren't but really enjoy these games or are because of these games. So highly recommend these. The combat's really amazing. And yeah, I don't know if it's still a thing, but the perk trophy, yeah, this one right here can bug out. Again, I don't know if it got fixed, but keep that in mind. I don't know how you can avoid it, but it worked first try for me. And then this trophy for completing all the bounties basically. Some of these were really annoying to do. Some of the bounty hunters suck to fight, but overall, I really enjoyed my time with Survivor. The Platinum wasn't very hard. And definitely the worst trophy by far was Splurgle. This trophy sucks because you have to get all of the Priorite around the map, and Priorite is in such bad, like they're in such random places, and I grinded for hours trying to get all these. It was so bad. I'm glad you don't need all the data discs for Z at least, but yeah, finding all the Priorite was just not good. And I wish there was a different way to get the Priorite besides having to go find all of it. And the Force Tears, they were pretty easy, I only dropped down the story for the Spawn of Ogdo plus the Ogdo Bogdo, and then the 2 Rancors, because who the freak wants to fight those? You know, why would they decide to do that? And of course, on that same topic, Spawn of Ogdo was definitely the toughest part of the Platinum. Not the most annoying, but definitely the most toughest. And I'm glad I was able to push through on Jedi Knight. Obviously, there are people who've done it on Jedi Grandmaster, but I'm not as good as those people, so I'm glad I did it on Knight. I know some of my friends dropped it down to story to do it, so I'm glad that I managed to do it. And I'm surprised I didn't get that mad at it, to be honest. I was pretty accepting of everything, but really fun Platinum. Next up is Chivalry 2. Definitely my least favorite Platinum out of all the Platinums I've gotten. I mean, besides my 2 Shovelware Platinums, Blackberry Honey, this was definitely my least favorite experience. Like, don't get me wrong, the game is fun and funny. This game is amazing and just so funny, but I do not recommend getting the Platinum for this game because you gotta kill 2,000 enemies, which takes a long time unless you just play a lot and get really good at this game. But really, the problem is this stuff. Winning certain maps. And obviously, they've added a lot of maps over the years, and oh man. At least you can do the entire Platinum offline. That is what I will say. That is definitely the saving grace of this Platinum. If I had to do everything online, there's no way I would have done this, but you're probably wondering, why did you even go for this? I only did it because my friend suggested that we all play this game, and obviously, if I'm gonna be grinding a game out, especially trying to balance it out with the channel, I feel like I have to get a Platinum. Unless I can find something else to do on the side. We never ended up grinding it, by the way. We just played every once in a while. I'm the one who played the most out of all of them. But yeah, I did not enjoy my time with this Platinum. And then the worst trophy here was killing an enemy from 100 meters away. You are not doing this online at all. You are not. Straight up. It took like a combined whole day to get this trophy. Because it's just so dumb. Because like the bots, they go in random areas and stuff. Like, it's garbage platinum. And I'm pretty sure the developers do not care about the trophies. Because nobody in their right mind would make trophies like this. To be honest. Nobody would do this if they actually cared about the trophy hunters. I mean, look at the freaking name of the platinum. It's literally just called platinum. You can tell they don't care. And look at all the icons. They're just the same thing. At least for something like Black Ops 3, it's just called Platinum, but it has a custom icon at least, and it looks dope. Well, no, this is just 2 logo. That's it. But don't recommend this Platinum. Do not get this. And next is A Plague Tale Requiem. Amazing game. I think this game has the better story over Innocence. I think Innocence has the better Platinum, but this game has the better gameplay and story. Originally, it didn't run at 60 frames, and I was definitely confused about that, especially now that they've added 60 frames to it now. So it's like, why couldn't they do that at the very beginning? And I wish something like Gotham Knights would do it too, but I digress. I really enjoyed the Platinum mostly. The only parts I did not enjoy about this Platinum was these 3. Prudence was easy. I mostly just, because I want to play stealthily, because you don't really want to play aggressively in a Plague Tale, because you have very limited resources, so it's better to play stealthily. So I focused on just playing stealthily. For the rest of the playthrough, I played with a mix of aggressive and stealthy to get the opportunism skill. And then I reset after a certain chapter in New Game Plus to get aggressive. I didn't get the aggressive trophy until chapter 13. So those trophies were not very good. But overall, everything else about this Platinum was really fun. It's just collecting collectibles and stuff, and the story was pretty great. Very emotional at times. Yeah, highly recommend this series as a whole. Please play this series. Then next is the pre-sequel. Probably my favorite Borderlands video out of the 2 that I've made between the trilogy and this. And yeah, this game I definitely do think is on par with Borderlands 2. I don't think they rival per se, but they are definitely on the same par. Because they're basically the same game. They run on the same engine, they have mostly the same systems and stuff. But I really enjoy my time with the Platinum. Basically, my only complaint is the same thing as 2 with Challenger. And also this, the Invincible Imperial Sentinel. I'm not saying I'm complaining about this, but I was kind of confused by the fact that it was level 28. Because in Borderlands 2, you had to fight Terramorphous, and they're both raid bosses. In 2, he's level 50, even on normal mode, but on here, he's level 28 on normal, and I think he's 50 on TVHM. I was definitely confused about that. I don't know why they decided to do that. Apparently, it's because they wanted people who aren't very experienced to be able to do a raid boss. Honestly, I kind of disagree, because I wanted to challenge myself, because when I did Terramorphous, I did it with PSN profiles people, and I wanted to challenge myself with this one, and it got really tough for me, and was just way too tough. Then yeah, I would have gone ahead and got people to help again. And I made a pretty stupid statement about it. I made a really redundant statement about it. I don't know why I said what I said. I'm gonna guess it was gonna be harder if I would have like done it at a lower level, but at low 50, this was way too easy. But overall, this was a pretty enjoyable Platinum. Really enjoy the game, enjoy the story. I do think this story it might even be better than 2's story, to be honest. Like, I think this game, they really focused on story along with the gameplay, which is good. Like, Borderlands has a good story, especially proven by Tales from the Borderlands. And this is the first game I did the DLC with in the same video. I didn't enjoy the Holodome. This was definitely really boring. It's like basically on the same... No, I think it's easier than Underdome, but it's definitely boring. It's basically just a bunch of rounds and stuff. It wasn't fun. But I enjoyed the Claptastic Voyage. The only poop trophy is probably defeating Shadow Trap, just because it's a really unfair boss. And I got to level 50 before I did Holodome and this. Personally, I don't think that's cheating, because the game allows you to do that. Like, it's not like I'm using cheat codes or finding exploits. I did it legit still, it's just I made it easy for me. And it's not like it was a complete pushover. Like, you still get one-shotted by freaking Shadow Trap's laser. And then there's the Mutator. This could have been a lot worse, but it was pretty easy. The only things is that Shadow Trap can spawn like the normal one from this trophy. Just that Shadow Trap spawns every once in a while. I think I ran into him one time, but he's not that hard to deal with. But overall, this was a fun DLC, and yeah, this game was just fun in general. Then it's Borderlands 3. Of course, I did this. This was the first Borderlands Platinum I got, and I enjoyed my time with Borderlands 3. The only problem I have with my experience is that I got carried throughout the story and to level 50. So had I not gotten carried, I would have learned more about Borderlands and probably would have been better at 1 and 2 had I just learned things from this game. But since I got carried, I didn't really need to learn anything, and that's why there were things I struggled with that I really shouldn't have struggled with. And yeah, but overall, this game is fun. The gameplay is definitely really amazing. The story, I think it's on par with 1. It's definitely the worst story, but 1 is the worst story for a different reason than this game. 1 is just too bare bones, whereas this one just has some pretty doo-doo writing, and the dialogue can be really annoying to play through. I've heard it's really fun to play this game without dialogue. I don't really care, I'm okay with listening to it, but I have returned to the game a little bit. I tried TVHM, and because I was such a high level, TVHM is definitely a little tough because of that, but it's fun. I enjoy my time with it, and I have made Moe's characters, so one of these days I'll go ahead and finish TVHM and maybe finish Moe's as well. I don't know, but of course I'm willing to go back to the DLC for this game along with 1 and 2. And the only trophy that really annoyed me is Slaughterhouse 3, the Circles of Slaughter. I think Cistern was the second hardest. The trophy guy said that was the easiest. I disagree. I struggle with that one because maybe, okay, with the Slaughter Shaft and the Slaughterhouse 3000, you could go back to the ammo machines. I don't know if you could with the Cistern, but that was mostly my struggle, just I ran out of ammo. And they just spammed a ton of enemies, like that dinosaur thing. That round stretched on for way too long, but Slaughter Shaft was pretty easy, surprisingly. And then Slaughterhouse 3000, yeah, that was the most tough. And like those random mechs, I don't know why they added those, and I don't know why this trophy's bronze. This should be a gold trophy in my opinion. Overall, I really enjoy Borderlands 3 and its platinum. Next up is Destiny 2. This platinum is definitely the platinum that took me the longest out of all of them, and probably will take the longest out of all of them by far, because it takes a lot of grind to get up to the pinnacle cap to be able to do Master and Grandmaster. Technically speaking, you don't need to reach the pinnacle cap, but it's recommended. I wouldn't really recommend doing it at the powerful cap, but it took hours to get to this point. I was fine with it because I really enjoyed Destiny 2, and I have played Destiny 1. I don't know if I'll ever get the platinum for it, but I enjoyed the little bit of Destiny 1 that I've played since Destiny 2. The only thing, obviously, if you saw that video, Gianmarco screwed us up by falling asleep right before the freaking boss. I didn't want to have to get randoms, but we had to because I knew Zayas had to go work. He had to work the next day. Like, his work starts like in the evening, so we had basically just the morning and then until like 4 to try to go ahead and finish Grandmaster. And yeah, I didn't want to get randoms because I really wanted to just get my friends, but Gianmarco made that impossible since he couldn't stay awake. So, like, of course, I'm still cool with Gianmarco. He's cool, but that was definitely annoying. But yeah, Destiny 2, fun platinum. Definitely takes a long time. But if you're going to do this platinum, try not to get the Light Blade. Please do yourself a favor, do not do that. Don't do the Battleground strikes either, or the Corrupted. Don't do any of those. Do any other strike, it'll be a much smoother experience than what we had. And then there's also the Forsaken trophies. I only need 2 more, but I need to get a squad for Last Wish. And to get a Triumph seal, there are only certain seals that you can get, which are the titles. And the easiest one to get is the Dredgen seal, which is a bunch of Gambit stuff. I don't really enjoy Gambit that much, so I don't know if I'll ever finish the DLC trophies, but I really don't care. I'm okay with just being where I'm at. Next is Far Cry 6. The story here is pretty mid-tier. I like Giancarlo Esposito as Anton. The ending was, people say it was pretty bad. I didn't really care for it. It was okay. It definitely was a curveball. I didn't expect what happened in the ending to happen. Obviously, I'm not going to say what it is in case anybody hasn't played Far Cry 6 and they want to, but the gameplay is really fun, especially with Vincent. I really enjoy my time just messing around with Vincent. I will always enjoy my time messing around in Far Cry with him. But by far, worst trophy here, and the worst trophy, one of the worst trophies I've ever gotten, taking out 3 insurgent leaders. This trophy is time gated, so you can only kill an insurgent leader once a week, and Ubisoft patched every single method to get it any earlier than the 3 weeks. And oh man. And to add insult to injury, like, you can't do the insurgent leaders until the game is over, until you finish the story, so you can't work on it while you're just going through the story like other time-gated trophies in other games. But you saw, if you watched the video, you saw the bugs that are in that game that we experienced. You can't fix those, but you can fix exploits for trophy hunters? I don't get how that works. Clearly the bugs are far more important, because how many people are going to be going for the platinum, you know? How many people are doing that? Not many people. Most people don't trophy hunt. So why fix that stuff, but not fix the bugs that casual players can encounter, you know? One of my least favorite trophies out of every platinum I've gotten, but overall, every other trophy was fine, and the game is pretty fun, in my opinion. Story was definitely mid-tier, definitely worse than 5, but I do like that Danny can talk this time. Then this is my 31st platinum, Burnout Paradise Remastered. Burnout is really fun, so I had a friend recommend this. I forgot why. I think we were playing The Crew, and he mentioned this game. It was $6 at the time. I couldn't get a card at the time, so I got Gianmarco to buy it for me, and I grinded the crap out of this game. I played so much of this game, especially in like one day. Really fun platinum, really fun game in general. The only annoying trophies is anything online. Gianmarco and I had to do this one, the free burn challenges, because some of them you can't do solo, so I had to get his help. And this is by far the worst trophy. This is another one of the worst trophies I've gotten. This one, obviously, like I said, the game's freaking dead. How are you supposed to get 8 players to meet up? But the only way I got it was when you get to, it's either your A tier license or your burnout license, you can do a road rage, and a lot of cars are in road rages. So if you go inside the stadium, a lot of the cars will just follow you in there, and for some reason they count as players. I'm not complaining at all, but if you're going for this platinum, do this. But I won't be doing the DLC trophies because, look at this, online. I'm not doing online trophies. This game's freaking dead, but I do like coming back to this game every once in a while and just playing it for fun, because this game has some really great driving. The crashes are freaking amazing. So I highly recommend this if it goes on sale, or even for 20 bucks even. It's a great game. And then of course, my 50th platinum, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. If you watched the video, you already know everything about this platinum. Doing the game on realistic was so tough. Doing freaking personal decorator, easily the grindiest trophy I've ever gotten. Like that trophy requires so much grind, but overall the game is fun. I enjoy Black Ops 3. It's not like I hated Black Ops 3. I just didn't like having to play on realistic. It was way too tough. And like, had I done it solo, you would not have seen this platinum. I would have done something else, honestly. And then, of course, the realistic combat immersion. I wish I could have gotten the decoration on my legit run, but I don't know why Treyarch hasn't fixed the fact that you don't get the challenge done for some reason. I don't know what causes it, but yeah, that just happened to me, so I cheated to get the challenge. I don't really care. I did it legit once. I'm not doing it legit again. It's way too stressful. But I don't know if I'll ever clean up the DLC trophies, but I did do Revelations Easter egg with Brando B, and that was really fun, but I don't know if I'll clean up the others. I'm really happy to have this as my 50th platinum. And then my 51st platinum was the PS3 version of LEGO Dimensions. Not much to say since I already talked about it on the PS4 version, but I will say this game is definitely buggier than the PS4 version. I don't really think they should have released this on PS3. I don't really know how I managed to enjoy this game back when I first had it, but overall, still a great game, no matter what. It's just a little buggy because it's on an older platform. But that about clears up my platinums. I do have a 52nd platinum on the list, but I'll show that later. I'll show that at the end of the video. But yeah, so the next platinum will be another LEGO game. I'm not gonna say what it is, but if you do want to know, watch my LEGO Dimensions video. I do mention the theme. It is my favorite LEGO theme, so if you just go back and watch that, you'll figure it out. After that, there's also LEGO Origins. I don't know if I'll do that after the LEGO game, but I do plan on doing it. There's also Watch Dogs 2. I will do that with DLC, but I promise that I'd do that after it was second place on the poll, as I mentioned in the Far Cry 6 video. So that will be another one. I want to do Cyberpunk when its 2.0 update comes out, because the game will be a lot better when 2.0 comes out, allegedly. I think it will be, because from everything that I've seen, it looks really good. So I'm down to come back. I don't know if the trophies will change at all, so I might wait a little bit, and I don't know if I'll do the DLC yet. But for sure, I do want to give it a try when 2.0 comes out. There's also 2 PS3 games that I'm keeping completely secret. One is a 6 out of 10, the other is a 4 out of 10. They're part of the same series, but they won't be in the same video, they'll be back to back. And I'm really hyped for these games, and I think you guys will like them. People really do enjoy these games, so I'm down to do them. They may be a little difficult, but who the frick cares? I did Black Ops 3. And then after those two, I have the 2 Tiny Tina games from Borderlands. And then there's New Tales, but screw New Tales, I don't really want to do that. So before I do New Tales, I will be cleaning up all the DLC trophies for the trilogy. And then as for updates for the channel, I do want to start streaming soon, especially now that I have this camera. So streams will be coming, I don't know when, but the first stream will just be a test stream. I'll just be playing whatever I want, no platinums. I'll maybe be switching games, maybe be playing with subs, I don't know yet. But I will be streaming at some point in the future. And the first actual stream for a platinum, or not a platinum, but it will be the DLC trophies for Ghostrunner. This will be before Ghostrunner 2 comes out, so I have a month to do that. So expect streams within a month at least. And I do also want to stream the DLC trophies because those will be a pretty big grind for Borderlands, I mean. But yeah, and of course from this point on, now that I have this camera, every video will have face cam. So yeah, expect to see this face in every video. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. But there's one more clip that I want to show. It's that 50-second platinum that I mentioned, and I'll show that clip right now.
Right then, run along, children. Have fun.
Peak, man. Peak gameplay. This is the greatest game of all time. Hands down. I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, y'all.